Yeah, welcome to Group 6, our assignment 2, and I have with me to research. I have also with me today Simko Kadri. I have also with me today Omar Ahmed and me. And I also have my friend Ethan. And we are doing this too, and the purpose of this lab is to use data as remote data, and we are using to be able to perform this lab. Then the first tool we're using is KV, and we also use and we are doing things. First one using for KV, and we also data using at least 2 bits, two bits, and we also storing our data that we extract from those websites to our database called Firebase. Yes, and now I'm going to give the order to my friend Lizard. Thank you, Lizard. Welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm going to talk about the first task is about the design application. And here we have 2 files. The first file is about the coding path, is about the function, and then another file is about the key is the KV, and it's where describe and like the canvas. It's where design the whole interface of our application. So if we run it, we can see it very directly. The first one which we choose is the city name and the country name at the top of that. And we also create 3 buttons, the search, patch, and delete. And the first one, it will find the information from the website. And the second one, we put the information into the Firebase, the database. And about the delete one, it will remove all of the tables that we create. And beneath that, the data from the time and date and data from the wooden ground, it will show the 4 attributes about our choose before. And now we will start task 2, and my friend Omar will introduce about the time and date.
Thank you, Lizard. And yeah, on the second task, it was instructed to us that we should use the web scraping data using at least 2 websites. So the first website we used is, as you can see, the website from time and date, where we get the information about the weather. And specifically, we use, like in the search engine, when we're gonna show, when we run, we're gonna show later, when we press run, then when we type like country, we get like the country name, and by typing the country name and the city name in our QEMD, we get the weather data. So that is what we did. So for example, if you run the program, we can show that. You type like Stockholm, and then you type Sweden, and then you press search. And yeah, as you can see, data from time and date, you see like how many degrees Celsius it is, the humidity, percentage, and the pressure, and the visibility. And yeah, that is the values we wanted to show. And now on the next website, my friend Lizard, I'm going to give the word to my friend Lizard, and he's going to talk about the windowground.com.
Yes, thank you very much. And I will continue about the wooden ground. About when we try to fix all of the find the 2 websites, we choose we have at first we have a lot options to choose. At first we did not choose a wooden ground, but we find the other websites, they do not only have the name, the easy name like this one. In some websites it uses the ID number, so we cannot just enter the name to get the information directly. So after a lot of selection, we finally choose the wooden ground. But the wooden ground is not very similar to the time and date when we deal with the name of that. Because as you can see here, if we click here, you can find and they all have the same class name. Is a very long sentence, but the difference between them is about the span name. So span name is different points. So here you can see we cannot we have already tried that we cannot use the span name directly to find the location of that. So we get all of the class names content and put them as a list, so we can divide into some strength tests and get the necessary information that we need. And now this is all of the task 2 part, and my friend Simko will handle. We're talking about something about the handling errors.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lizard. It was a very beautiful explanation on the structure of the code and how the concepts within the code is working, the functions, so to speak. So about handling the errors, you see, we are in this group well aware that there's a very common method to handle errors in Python, which is the try and exception methods. So before this course, we have also done the try and catch method, for example, in Java. So in Python, there's a similar method called try and exception, where you, for example, where you apply with which kind of error there is that the catcher should catch and return maybe to the user, or so. But this is a very common method, and we can use that method if we'd like, but we would like to also show that there's other ways of handling errors, depending on how much knowledge you have within your own software. So in this case, we can say that we used an alternative method to handle the errors, which works just as fine, if not even better, depending on the situation. So for example, now we'll type in some kind of city name that does not apply to the attributes that we should send in to the method. So it will tell us that the country name or the city name is wrong, because there is no city name called by digits. So that's why the error is handled perfectly. Otherwise, it would maybe terminate the whole program, and we would not be able to continue, which means that the error would be fatal, which is something that you absolutely will want to avoid when you're programming, so to speak. Okay, so now I will give over the word to my colleague Ethan, and he's gonna talk about the database design, and it will be the last task for in this task, so to speak. So yeah.
Okay, now let me introduce the patch function and the delete function. At first, we need to create tables to store our data. But you know, we maybe search different cities. For example, at first we search Stockholm, Sweden. Yeah, we create the table. But after that, we want to search another city like London, England. We need to create a new table, but we need to make sure this table's name is different from the last one. So we use count. We use count to make sure this table's name is different from the Stockholm table. Yeah. We patch it. Yeah, we can see this table's name. The first is 1, the second is 2. Yeah, and then I introduce the delete function. When we click the delete button, the old date in the file base in this database will be deleted. Yeah, that's all of our group's presentation. Thank you for your listening.